What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Speedroids going up against Melodious. It's going to be a rogue matchup here. Speedroid just got support in the newest set with, I believe, a couple cards like Kernel Clockers, a Spell and Trap, and Omni Negate, which is pretty nice. I guess it is just an Omni Negate in total, which then floats into a Spell and Trap or a Monster Negate. A very cool card, to be honest, a little bit better than the Baron that they were having before. They don't have anything to play the Cashier cards anymore, and obviously Baron's going to be banned. Before we dive on in, don't forget to like, comment, share, a lot. I'm playing Melodious here on the right side because I definitely think it's going to be a really good option for like a rogue deck in this format. It has a good matchup against Rizal, being able to bounce those cards back to the hand once they already extended with them. And against Malice, it doesn't have the greatest matchup, but it's still pretty good. It'll just like give 9 1-card starters. If you guys have not checked the deck profile, definitely check it out. We're going to be seeing an Ostella being started off. They do Ash this, and then we follow it up with a first movement solo. And in this hand here, we have 3 of our 1-card starters. So we end up going up for the Aria, which means now we cannot give it Imperm or Veiler. Then we normally summon with the Refrain. We're going to go Refrain effect, so letting us search for the couplet. We don't have a level 4 in hand or in the graveyard to special summon out, so we get to add the... We don't get the special note off the couplet there, I should say. We get to then place a couplet in the scale, activate the effect, letting us search for Concerto, going for the effect of Concerto, letting us fusion summon into the Baka. Baka is then going to activate the effect, as well as the scales in the extra deck just put themselves back into the extra deck here, or put them back in the pendulum zones there. We're then going to go into a Soprano fusion effect, letting us go all the way up into an Étoile. Now, important to note that here we could have dumped if we wanted to with the Refrain when we don't summon out the Aria here, but we actually chose to misplay instead. So we could have gone for like Refrain dump the big one there, but we opt to not. We're then going to activate the effect of the fusion one to add back the Aria to the hand, and then we are going to be thinking on this. We also have the Concerto letting us get an additional draw here. And so we're going to pendulum summon out the Aria as well as the Refrain, and then we're going to activate the effect going into a copy of Sherberta here. We're going to then set 1 card and pass turn on this, leaving us with an Étoile, a Banish 3, and of course an Aria, making our cards not be able to be targeted by card effects or be destroyed by battle. And a face down and 1 card left in the hand as well. Now looking for a follow-up, we have the Refrain, we have Aria, which is going to be kind of hard to end up beating, and then we have the Concerto going to be able to be searched by the couplet there, and then of course if the Étoile leaves the field because of our opponent's card effect, we're going to summon it from the deck. So we have lots of cards that we can kind of go for here. We're going to go for a Speedroid double yo-yo. They're going to go Battle Phase, taking some damage off this, so they can put a Speedroid in the graveyard. This is going to be for a card called Kernel Clockers here, which in the main phase 2 we're going to be activating, and then we do activate the Kernel Clockers there by banishing a double yo-yo. Now, we could have banished the Sherberta there. We should have banished the yo-yo with Sherberta there, but I was like, this doesn't really seem like it's going to be pretty good there. So we're just going to go the Étoile bounce, try to bouncing back that Clockers to the hand. And that's just going to like stop the whole turn anyway. So the reason why we're going to try to bounce the Aria there is because we can't get our whole field destroyed anyways. And if they do target and destroy one of our stuff, it's not going to make that much of a difference. We could have done the Sherberta as well there, to get like multiple banishes if we wanted to, but I was hoping that they would continue their combo and then banish something later. So that's kind of why it doesn't really matter here, because we do see them in mid-defeat. Kind of hard that when you lose to one card there, which is just unfortunate, but Étoile is a powerhouse. Like, you imagine if they go for Exciton Knight and then you just bounce back the Exciton Knight and they have like you lose your whole Fiendsmith combo for Rizal, or right before they make a detonator, you just like bounce back all their cards. It's going to be pretty hard to kind of beat the board alongside like you have other hand traps. Like, you're playing so many hand traps in the deck. It's like those cards, there's like pretty low ceiling for Melodious. We're going to be going in game 2 now with Speedroids going to be going first. We're going to be seeing a Terror Top being dropped down. That's going to have the ability to search here, and we are going to be chaining a Purge here. We are playing a light deck, therefore Purge is going to be quite good, as you guys will see in the Blue Eyes structure deck coming out this week, actually. So stay tuned for that. This is definitely going to be on the channel prior to that. And we're going to be trying doing a Blue Eyes opening. I'm trying to figure out a series, what I can do there, maybe like with a roulette or something like that. And let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think that I should do for the Blue Eyes structure deck. I want to have some input here. We're going to go for a Cork Shooter, and then we are going to activate the Cork Shooter effect. We do chain the Heralds, discarding a couplet, and then we're going to be just stopping that all of a sudden here. Now, we actually chose to misplay because we're going to normal summon the Refrain, activate the effect. Then I get hit with an Imperm. Now, we should have kept the couplet in the hand and discarded the other fairy that we had, so we could actually continue our lines, go for the Baka, but that was definitely a misplay on our parts. We're going to see the double yo-yo going to be activating its effects, and that's going to allow us to reborn out from the graveyard. Then they are going to target the the dice here. We do chain Cobble the Grave on it. Hopefully they were going to go for the Terror Top, because we could have just stopped the Terror Top from all the effects this turn. And now we have the effect of Colonel Clackers. Colonel Clackers can then banish the Terror Top, and that's going to allow us to put the brick from our deck to the other zone here. It's going to be like a little Speedroid Dragon, which is kind of cool. And then they're going to activate the effect being able to destroy both of them to Synchro Summon out from the extra deck. Super cool that we have like a Synchro Summon effect from the Pendulum Zone. We go for a Clearing. Now, Clearing isn't the greatest, but it is still pretty good. And so now we see the Clackers being brought back out with the effect of the guys in the Pendulum Zone. Or I guess say in the extra monster zone, they get to activate the effect of bringing out the Clackers. Now, this is kind of crazy. You can bring out the Clackers from almost anywhere with this card. So we are thinking on this now, kind of wanting to figure out where we're going to go with it. We have an Omni Gate on the, or I guess like a Monster Gate on the field, which is pretty nice. Now we can Synchro Summon away or Link away here for the other Speedroid guy, which can let us continue. Now we do have an Ash Blossom in the hand as well, so having a monster and a hand trap is going to be pretty nice. We are going to be synchroing away into, or linking away here, I should say, for the Double Band Shooter. Double Band Shooter will activate the effect, allowing us to banish a level 7 or level 6 in this case, to allow us to reveal 2 level 3s to summon himself out. Then we choose one at random, and the other one goes to the graveyard here. So we're going to be sending the Hound to the graveyard, and we're going to be allowed to have an additional normal summon, going for the Terror Top, and then that's going to allow us to now search our deck. Additional summons are crazy. We get to go for a Tacky Tomboy, which then special summon itself out, and you guys can see the extending. Now, if we had the card on our mat here in Nibiru, we'd be absolutely cooking, but unfortunately we do not. The last card in the hand is Soprano, which is why I think that we should have discarded that over the Couplet, so we can search for the Concerto and kind of continue through one hand trap there. Definitely a misplay on our parts, but they go for the plane, and then the plane brings back out the Synchro, and then go battle phase, attack, and attack for a whole bunch of damage here. And then we get to Synchro up into the big guy here, which is going to be an Omni Negate, and that's going to be pretty crazy. It also floats into a Spell Trap or a Monster Negate, so we're going to admit defeat there, realizing that we cannot beat this. Definitely the misplay threw us off. They did have Ash Blossom in the hand, I believe, so they would have still been able to stop the Concerto ad, but it's still pretty nice that we could have played through one hand trap there, which is kind of important. But moving on to the all-important Game 3, Melodious is able to go first now, and Melodious deck is actually like really good against Speedroid, unfortunately, because like they do want to swarm the field, and if we can just bounce their cards or like make them not be able to Synchro Summon, it's going to be quite difficult for them to get on the field. They only have a few of the tuners in their deck, so other than like Colonel Clackers being able to cheat out a Synchro monster, it's going to be quite hard for them to stick a Synchro on the field. Now, they do play a load of hand traps alongside us. I think that they're on like maybe 12 hand traps, maybe 15 post side. But what's really cool about the deck is that both these decks are actually from the same arc. They are from Arc 5 in the anime. So it's kind of cool that we see like the Synchro, the guy, and then the girl fusion going up against each other. I think that they went up against each other in the anime, but I'm not exactly sure. But we're going to be starting off with an Ostinato that's going to be met with absolutely nothing here. So we're going to send the Refrain alongside a Soprano to the graveyard, which can then summon out the Baka. Baka can then summon out the Refrain from the deck, or the Arya, depending if we already have a Refrain in the hand here. And we're going to be kind of continuing after common. Now, they do have an Imperm for this. It is going to resolve. We do have the Couplet to allow us to search for a Concerto, and then we can still continue playing this way here. Now, the lines are going to be a little bit scuffed because they're not going to be the greatest, and we have the Chapina in the hand now. So we use all three to go for an Etoile here, and then we're going to be seeing the Couplet as well as the Baka activate the effect, bringing out the Soprano, and then summoning out the Scale once again, and then we're going to be summoning out the Refrain. We're going to add the Refrain to the hand off the Soprano, and then we're going to normal summon it, activate the effect, searching for a Couplet, which can then bring out the Soprano from the graveyard here. And then we can activate the Soprano effect, fusion summoning into the Shaberta. We're then going to see the Refrain place itself on the Scale here. And We then can go refrain effect. It doesn't exactly matter what we send. We just can't send an aria in this case. So we send the sonata instead, just for a follow-up, boosting the étoile. Now we could go risky if we wanted to, linking away the Schiberta as well as the soprano. Now we do pendulum summon out the couplet, but couplet should be going to the extra deck. And we go for a Bach. We go for the Bloom here to summon out 2 from the deck, and also getting the concerto draw. So we summon out the aria alongside a sonata, and we have insane follow-up in this case. We set 1 card and we pass. Now the couplet should be put in the extra deck here, but it shouldn't matter that much. We're going to go Book of Eclipse, and we do have Ash Blossom. Now, Book of Eclipse is an absolutely crazy card in this format, being able to just destroy the whole Rigel board, other than when they have the Fiendsmith stuff, but it's also really getting into Mizuguri, and they're going to get a bunch of rogue decks as well. Book of Eclipse just kind of like deals with everything, but unfortunately it does get hit with Ash Blossom, so kind of stopping it. But this here would actually hurt our deck quite a bit, so it's kind of rough here. Now, we do bounce back the double yo-yo. I definitely think that was a mistake because it was a level 7, but they're going to be just passing turn on this, and we did strike the a monster prior, so it's going to be pretty decent for us. We did take 15, but we're only stopping their turn altogether now. So we activate the effect of the soprano, adding back the sonata, then we get to add, well, we think of the normal the sonata, activate the couplet, letting us search for concerto here, and we are pretty much off to the races. We have everything we need to do. We can use the soprano to fusion summon into, we can go for a Haggard here, just drawing a draw, clearing out the monster zones. Okay. And then we do get to draw a card off the Haggard, and then we're going to go for the aria, or the soprano, using the subpoena as well as itself. Going around for the Baka, Baka will summon out another copy of the level 4, and then we're going to be activating the effect, allowing us to add back the sonata to the hand. Then we're going to activate the effect once again to fusion summon here. And this is going to allow us to go for the Schiberta again, and we're going to be seeing the soprano summoning out the we're going to see the Bach summon with the soprano, or the Chapina, and then Chapina add back the soprano here, and then we're going to be summoning, and we're going to be bouncing the Chapina, and then we're switching with the sonata here, and we have enough for game. So we just see we see a Speedroid's emit defeat here, and we had that's why we wanted to add back, okay, because we had the Herald in the hand there, so we could have a fairy to send to the graveyard to negate. So we see Speedroid end up losing here against Étoile. Étoile being a crazy card, being able to bounce back numerous stuff is kind of crazy. We did see some weird lines there where we ended up using 2 Schiberta. Now, the reason why we use this 2 Schiberta is because we want to just sync or link summon, I should say. Now, potentially we could have gone for the second Baka, so we still had the third one in the deck, but we still got there in the end, regardless. Hope you've been watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, some more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.